Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome back. Welcome back. What is good, everybody? Welcome back. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a long season. It's been a long road. But listen, we are here. Was Merry Christmas to all, because we are in that month. Happy holidays. However you do it. Listen, man, we got a special guest. Special guest. In this Cowboys community, we got content creators of all kinds. And I'm telling you, one of the most entertaining and one of the most influential ones is a guy joining me today is Angry Cowboys fan. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm all right, Lou. How you doing, man? Appreciate you having me on.
Man, what's good? What's good? So, man, this Cowboy season, it's been a season. It's been very humbling. I'm part of the young Cowboy fans. I'm under 30. When when my mama and when my grandparents used to tell me about the Cowboys, they didn't mention none of these seasons. But what have this season like taught you about, like, I don't know, just what is your thoughts on this season so far?
Like you said, man, it's humbling. It's truly humbling. And what this season has shown me is what everybody was talking about back last year. They were talking about, well, we're not gonna assess the Dallas Cowboys during the regular season. We're gonna assess their play during the playoffs. And I'm sitting back in the background screaming, what if we don't make the playoffs? You know what I'm saying?
Very
Man.
legitimate. But I mean, you're right. Been this team since being on this side and seeing how when you see how the cake is made, that as a content creator, be and seeing the product on the field, and you see what could have been done differently, and how there's different sides of Cowboys Nation. The toxic side and the side who will listen to you. Man, this season right here has really thickened my Cowboy skin, if I would say. Because it's really taught me. Like, I'm gonna be honest, some of this you could have foresaw, but I'm a positive. I'm a realist, but I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna still look at it glass half full the best way I can, because I know I love my team. Even though they came in and they one example, they came in and they immediately went all in on Mozzie. I was like, okay, we're going in on Mozzie, but listen, all we need Mozzie to do is just hold the gaps up for our linebackers. And now seeing how they just half-ass the roster's construction and bring in two veteran guys at the end of training camp,
Mhm.
and seeing how it all, I'm like, man, they and like they set up Mike McCarthy. I've never seen something like this from a Cowboy season before.
Like
I mean,
real talk. And I truly feel that it was like a setup on Jerry and Steven's part. I don't know if it was to get the dead money down, trying to do it like that, or people talking about they're blowing it up for Archie Manning. I don't know what's going on, but whatever is going on, like, Jerry, you're losing your fan base. Real talk.
whether you like it or not. I mean, especially he should have saw it in the camp, like how camp was empty. Camp always would be booming, right? But you plan, playing the other side, getting the storylines, trying to make money that way off, and just bad mouthing your stars, and the stars not being there. Nobody want to see the Cowboys and that product. Just and it's really showing this year, and with the home games, of how it's empty and it's mostly their away team. And then it's just, I don't know, like, it's been an eye-opening experience. I've never seen the Cowboys through this lens this year. I'm never gonna forget this year.
And it's funny because there's a lot of things that you really never seen as a Cowboys fan. Because I'll tell you, I hadn't seen so many of our key players, so many of our starters being out. A lot of them on IR, the season-ending injuries. I I was like, wow. When they just started dropping like flies, I was like, wow, what is going on? Check out the training facility. You know,
Right.
hire everybody that's giving massages. I don't know. Do something.
And what's funny enough, the guy who missed the most time is the one still playing. It's everyone that was here during camp. Like you thought CD would be the one, that would be, even though he has an injury, he's nursing. You would thought like, okay, we're playing with fire by keeping him out of camp, but neither here nor there. Let's get into the positive side.
Mm.
Cowboys get the victory versus the Panthers. Now people will overlook this victory and just take it at surface value, looking at the box score. What does this victory truly mean? Because I don't know what they're not understanding, but we're gonna help them figure it out.
I think this victory, even though it's against the Carolina Panthers, like if we would have lost this game, we would have not heard the end of it. You know what I'm saying? But I believe this one was just, it was a moral victory. It was one of those, we're going to continue to fight. We're not going to give up. We're not going to tank. And it was just showing a lot of heart out on the field. Like you said, Jordan Lewis, if it wasn't for Jordan Lewis on that play when he deflected that ball and Eric Kendricks got that interception, there wouldn't have been an interception. Wouldn't have been a turnover on down. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm really proud of these players. Uh, I'm really proud of Zim. Like I put out a video probably like last week, but I've been saying it since probably like week 4 or 5, even in the midst of us getting whooped. I was like, hey, Zim has a scheme that's keeping us in the game at least a half. Like, and then the second half he get outmatched. I mean, that's the difference between having guys and the Jimmys versus the Joes. And there, like, this season has really shown me like the fight that I've never seen in this team before. I'm be honest, pisses me off a bit because I was like, oh, where was this earlier? But I'm glad that they're seeing it now, and it just shows that to tell you like, hey, it's more than just wins and losses. These guys, if you don't know the state of the Cowboys, a lot of people use the Cowboys as a stepping stone. And like I was telling people before, if Rico got injured this season, or if Rico did not, live up to expectations, I think Rico would have been out the league. It wouldn't have been him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because think about it. All his seasons before now were just him being injury prone. He could not afford to get injured this season. And that's why I believed in him to have his most healthiest year. Any sports you look at, the best year is usually, their contract year. So and regardless of all the politics going on, I appreciate the story of Rico, him being sick that game, or just Mike McCarthy taking the fire out of him, halfway in the game, which pisses me off. Rico has came and brought his lunch pail to work every day.
Yeah. Yeah, he has. He really has. I mean, everybody knows that follows Angry Cowboys fan. It's that I stump for Rico, man. I do. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because Rico went to my high school. He's an AC Reynolds alum, and the family, my nephews and stuff, used to rock with Rico. Cause I was on Facebook one day, and I'm just like, yo, I messaged my nephew. I was like, yo, Rico Dowdle? He was like, yeah, Rico the homie. Wow, what's up? I'm like, that's my running back, bro. That's the Cowboys running back. But for real though, like, whenever Mike McCarthy was having this conundrum with the running back by committee, I'm sitting over here like, there should be no running back by committee. Give the ball to Rico Dowdle. And they finally did it, and he has been looking good. I think he's been looking good enough to extend, but don't get me twisted when I say extend. Go get a running back from the draft. Please.
Oh yeah. I want him. I want him as a bridge back. Like I don't want my rookie. I don't want from now on. I don't want to do what we did to Zeke to no one else. Like Zeke was a rare talent, and we ran Zeke into the ground. Granted, Zeke was good enough to be that workhorse back. We probably won't see another workhorse back, but like we got to have somebody to take the load off of him. Like after a game is won, like Zeke was getting 40 carries a game. Yeah. We did him wrong, and Zeke They said Ashton Genty coming in this league, like he probably got what 600 carries over his college career. Zeke was around the same thing, like he was probably like 100 carries below, and we came into the league and gave him 40 a game, like game more, So yeah, keep Rico around, and plus, like I said, like he does have a history of injuries. Like, and this year, I will say this year's an outlier because of the contract, so we can't guarantee him being a lead back for us going forward. So, are you afraid that we might not sign him back because we're cheap?
Um, I don't think we won't not sign him back. I think we will sign him back for the simple fact that we are cheap, and you could get Rico Dowdle. You could probably retain Rico Dowdle for probably 6 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 6 million, and then because if you and I know everybody, the purists, they love Zeke and everything, but if you get rid of Zeke, if you get rid of Dalvin Cook, and you draft a running back, you got a cheap running back out of the draft, and now you got a $6 million running back in Rico Dowdle that can get the job done. So yeah, I don't think that they're not gonna re-sign him.
I mean, so let's talk about the other guys because, like I said, I'm proud of the guys in this game. Who do you feel like is getting too expensive for us, or will be too expensive for us?
Who is getting too expensive? I mean, really, a Zach Martin is getting a little bit too expensive. But the thing is, he's out. He's seems to be out the door. But I got a sneaky feeling that they're going to sign a 1 year to try and, if they have any type of playoff and Super Bowl aspirations for next year, I think they're going to try and extend Zach Martin. But the money attached to him, and I mean, obviously Dak Prescott and CD Lamb,
Right.
but
I mean, they can restructure. See, that's they be lying. They can restructure them and free up almost 100 millions. Like,
yeah,
it's insane. Like, the laws are insane. The laws are insane.
man. And speaking of the lies, man, I don't understand how they're lying to us like it's the 90s. Like we still using, rotary phones and stuff. Like we can't just pull out this mini computer that we got in our pockets and check the salary cap. That kills me, man. Like y'all sitting here acting like we stupid. We're not.
It's like the the audacity, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's because it's the same method, and they're beating the old drum, and they're gonna continue to beat it. And I feel like this off season, when we get here, it's gonna be very, very. It's gonna be very entertaining for us content creators, but it's gonna be very interesting because they're gonna try the same thing that they always been doing. But I feel like this is gonna be something different with Micah. As y'all know, Micah's the next up to get paid. He deserves all his money. I'm rooting for every sack, and I want him to continue to drive up that price. But when I say it's going to be different, as you know, if you didn't know, it's like a ritual here in Cowboy Land for when it's time to get paid. It's the same song. Before it's time for you to get paid, we got to bring all your skeletons out the closet. We got to paint all these narratives, and we're gonna make turn the whole Cowboys Nation against you in the middle of it, because I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but I guess it's their way of getting back at the player and trying to break him down. I think I call it attacking from multiple fronts with it, because obviously the player will have the agent, but if they can break down the player can break down the agent. You know what I'm saying? So and the best way to do that is attack his image, because they care about that. But I think it's going to be different this year because you're dealing with somebody that can play your game, and I think Micah can play your game. Like, he has a whole podcast, so everything is going to be out in front and center. We're already seeing it. Like, he's already trying it with the Trayvon Diggs news, and like how he's being forward with that. Like, he's going to speak his mind. He's going to get his money. Like, do you have? How do you feel that's going to go down?
What, as far as Micah Parsons?
Yeah, Micah Parsons, the whole
man. The sports junkie kind of put it in my head, and he was like, if I was Jerry, I'd franchise tag Micah Parsons.
You know he ain't. You know he ain't doing that because they tried it. They tried it. They already tried it on when he's already got a bad taste in their mouth because they pick up his fifth year option. But get this, they picked it up as an edge, I think,
Mm,
or was it linebacker? Either one. They picked it up as the cheaper option. That's what I'm trying to, So if you're gonna franchise tag him, what are you gonna franchise him tag him as? But and
right.
Micah, he's been doing. He's the best player. He's the top 5 player in the league. Top 5 players in the league don't like that tag. They won't.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is going to be different. Like yeah,
And I mean, you know what's like you said, it's pretty much the typical narrative here in Cowboys Nation whenever you have Stephen Jones going out there and trying to muddy the waters, with these players and everything. I said it before, like when CD and Dak were going through their issue, I was like, don't be surprised whenever Micah comes up for his contract and you see the slander and everything with the 3 and 4 letter networks and in the media, because that's their modus operandi whenever it's time for a contract. That's what the Dallas Cowboys front office is gonna do, and it sucks.
shout out to JBB. Well, yeah, Edge was the cheaper. See, he wanted to be listed as linebacker, but it was like a $5 million difference. Yeah, that's a lot of
Mhm.
money. But switching gears, like what would you say makes you the angriest of the Cowboys do? What makes you the angriest? I was it's a broad question, but what is something that you can't stand that this organization continues to do?
There's a few things. One thing is contract negotiations through the media. I believe that fans have way too much information when it comes to what these players make, so that they know whenever they put that number out there, the fans are like, "Well, won't you take a discount?" And it vilifies the players in the fans' eyes. So that's one thing I hate is the public contract negotiations, and the other thing is the lack of movement in free agency. That's another huge thing. And I'm not talking about the fix a flat players that they keep getting. I'm I'm talking about some depth pieces to where the talent gap isn't so great.
Yeah. Oh man. If I had to boil it down, it's still a theory, but if this year should have proven it, I hate how much our front office affects the X's and O's of this team.
Yeah. Yeah. They truly do. Like,
Yeah. The
you
fact
know,
that they have it's just that they need to even have the mindset that they need, and they don't have good intentions. They don't have good football intentions. It's all at the end of the day, it's about the bottom line. They're trying to sell something, and they're doing it through the X's and O's. We saw it with the running back situation. Maybe it's with passing. I don't know. Like, maybe like we hate Mike McCarthy. We hate all these coaches. If I had to get rid of one thing, if I can get rid of Mike McCarthy and keep Jerry, or can I get rid of Jerry and keep Mike McCarthy? You know which way I'm gonna lean. I just
mhm,
want to see. I just really want to see truly how these coaches truly coach. Like I get on
mm,
McCarthy. I felt like I'm gonna still criticize McCarthy. I felt like he should have pushed back more because if it was me at my job and this is my last year and you're setting me up,
yeah,
when you tell me like, hey, I should be playing a player or I should be calling these plays, I'm gonna give you that. Yeah, okay, and then I'm gonna go and do something completely different. Like because I'm
mhm,
at the end of the day, I'm not a blind soldier following orders. I gotta do what's best for this team.
right, right.
And
And
yeah, go ahead.
no, I just feel like that's what Mike McCarthy did with Kellen Moore to get Kellen Moore out of the door, because Mike was coming up toward the end of his contract, and he's like, if anybody's gonna wreck my car, I'm gonna wreck my car. You're not gonna be the guy to get me fired, so let's get him out of here so I can call plays. Yeah.
Yeah, this team right here, man. Oh my god, this team right here. Because I don't think you understand how much I really hate that. The fact that we have to clear our plays by Steven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is another thing. I hate how predatory they can get. This is maybe the wrong word, but how they can get evil with these contracts when it's around injury time. I hope you understand it. I hope y'all picking up these and putting down what I'm saying, y'all. The fact that, like, let's say, remember Michael Gallup
Yep.
when he got hurt, they hurry up and quickly, and got that contract to him,
Mm-hmm.
mainly
Yep.
because that was at his cheapest, and they at the back of their mind they know that he's not gonna be a return on investment. So like, because at the end of the day, this team does not like they have this our guys philosophy, but they hate when their guys are actually succeeding because they got to pay them,
Right.
which is
Right.
backwards thinking. So,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's why I hate, like, and prayers for Overshawn, but I know they're gonna come to him with a contract sometime next year.
Mm.
You
Okay.
know, and you,
That,
you talk
yeah, that
about
makes
it, because you be getting in the wrong. You be seeing it too, right?
yeah, I see it. I see it. They like to give those if they're not withholding to the last minute to get headlines, they're gonna give it to you right in the
Mhm.
injury. Oh man.
It's so conniving and sneaky, wasting. Like, we do stuff so backwards. Like, okay, yeah, right. Something with Diggs. Yeah, see, Diggs took a discount. There's some other stuff that they may come to Diggs with another contract. Honestly, because he just got hurt again,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's I don't know. I have no words. The Michael Gallup situation, I keep going back to that. I already know they're gonna do it with Overshown. I was surprised they didn't do it. I think they already tried it with Bland. They're gonna try it with Bland because Bland is not fully back from his injury, so there's that chance. So they're gonna give
Yeah.
him a contract. But the way they operate, man, man.
Yeah. It's like I've always said for the past few years, I've always said that it seems like the Dallas Cowboys are a development school. Like, because we'll draft these guys. We say we like our guys. Well, your guy was Dalton Schultz as well. And you let him go right out the door after he established himself like, I'm here. I'm here. I'm gonna be a dog. And then you send him on to the Houston Texans. It's like you're killing the cohesion. Cause I feel like within that rookie contract, you really just you're getting into it. You're getting
Yeah,
into the swing. You
it's cheap.
develop. Yeah, it's cheap,
Yeah,
but you're really developing your skills. You're developing the camaraderie and the morale with your teammates and everything. And once that once that first contract hits, you ready to go. You
yeah,
know what
it's
I'm
a
saying?
real bag.
Yeah,
Like,
you ready to go. But then the Cowboys are like, they're either ready to franchise tag you or ready to get you out of Dallas.
because they're trying to free up one more spot, and then they'll if they paying you, now we got to act. The biggest thing they do is act broke, and they'll continue. They'll drag their feet. Well, we had money, but we couldn't sign it. But, like, the acting broke is really ugly how they do it, because they'll come and say the same thing, and it's still the same side of Cowboys Nation that will pick up and regurgitate that information like it's new, and here we go in this endless cycle. Like right now, I know I'm all over the place, but with the Panthers game, we've been winning. We hear that the whispers of Cooper Rush is coming back. The whispers of Cooper Rush is coming. I'm starting to see. I'm like, I know. I thought y'all should that crowd should have been dead. It still should be
Yeah.
dead. It still
But
should be dead.
Cooper Rush gets so much leniency that they wouldn't give Dak Prescott. And I'm talking about even in Dak's first 4 years. You heard that he's not it and all this stuff. You heard these things. We need to get another quarterback, so on and so forth. Don't pay him the $40 million. You heard all this stuff. So so a lot of people. Well, I shouldn't say a lot. That minority of Cowboys Nation that doesn't like Dak. They've been on him ever since the rookie contract. And then you see Cooper Rush. I mean, I guess he's doing his thing for a backup. He's doing his thing, but for a first string franchise quarterback, Cooper Rush's numbers is just not gonna cut it. It ain't cutting it. I mean, a QBR, you win the game, but you got a QBR of 55.5. You know, it just it's not like QB1 material, and that just goes to show you that Cowboys Nation will throw Shrek in the quarterback position just to have a change.
This is a wild question. Do you think this team like Dak? And I mean, not the front office. I mean the players. Why I ask this question? I, as you know, this Cooper Rush debacle happened before, and the last time it happened, I don't get in my delusional Cowboys state, but I remember that year when Dak got hurt, and I came back, and the way we were playing, I was like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to the Super Bowl because they were playing on a whole nother level. But as soon as Dak got back, it's like a switch happened.
Mhm.
Now I don't maybe hate Dak, maybe the wrong question. Are they comfortable with Dak? Do they get comfortable with Dak?
I I think as far as the players, they are. The players are comfortable with Dak. Mike McCarthy is comfortable with Dak. Brian Schottenheimer's he's comfortable with Dak. I just think that the game gets simplified once Cooper Rush comes in. You know, it gets simplified. We go through the run to establish the pass, and when Dak comes in, they're like, "All right, just throw us to victory." When Cooper Rush is in the game, the defense plays so much harder
Like,
because they have to pick up the slack. Like, okay, we got Cooper Rush in here, so we're gonna have to ball out. When Dak's back, there's kind of a you know, kind of a calming of the waters. All right, Dak's back. Let's get back to the regularly scheduled program. But I wish that regularly scheduled program with Cooper Rush would be with Dak Prescott as well.
and if anyone asks me, that's my main criticism with Mike McCarthy. That right there encompasses Mike McCarthy right there. You might call it a compliment. I call it a detriment because a head coach, when one of your best players go out, the fact that it's such a drastic change, and
Yeah.
I do mean a drastic change from when your best player is in the game from when it's not. And I just put it in my video. I find that extremely annoying. Extremely annoying. What do you mean that the game gets simplified when Dak is not in the game? The game should have already been simplified. Why? Why do we think about every play called in? Why are we open up the playbook now? Why is the defense? I mean, the defense. No, they weren't playing this. Why does the defense clamp down this hard now? I'm not saying there's like that you should take it to another level. I'm just saying is your level for Dak shouldn't be at a 5, and your level for Cooper Rush shouldn't be at a 10. It should be
Mhm.
more like 7 to 10. You know?
Yeah.
And go ahead.
That's just the drop off that I'm talking about as far as like talent as well as like I guess the drive for when Cooper Rush comes in as opposed to Dak Prescott. And the Dak detractors will be out there. They'll say, the team plays harder when Cooper Rush is in the game as opposed to Dak. It's like, yeah, because they have to. Because the defense goes into that game like we gonna have to make things happen because the offense is gonna be a little stagnant. And just so happens with the Carolina Panthers, with the help of Rico Dowdle and some great catches from Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Brooks, we was able to get the offense moving.
Like, like I'm an old line guy. Like, I'm sorry, Paul. But this right here, like the old line want to block better now. Now, when you were the main reason, I would call y'all the sole reason why the offense was stagnant. Like, even I can even go into and blaming play calling because Mike McCarthy felt like he couldn't call everything because of the old line. But now, and I'm proud of it. I'm happy. But
Mhm.
like when 4 was out there, where was this thing? Like, like we could have been at a completely different position this season. Like this, like stuff like this. I'm sorry. This is why coaching is so important. Like during those off season, you go hard in the off season because of what I'm explaining to you right now. If you do it right, you'll do it light. If you do it wrong, you do it long.
Yeah.
If you put in the work early, it wouldn't be this difficult. We wouldn't be feeling this way. Like, I don't know. Like, we probably prevent injuries. You never know. Like, I mean, you. It's just that's what frustrates me about this team sometimes.
I think like with the combination of injuries with the offensive line, and when we had Dak, this offensive line was super green. Was super green. Not not gelling right, not picking up stunts and things like that. But now that Zach Martin's down, you got TJ Bass and a Brock Hoffman in it, in a center, and like, well, he's in there until Cooper Beebe gets back. But then when Cooper Beebe's in the game, you got Brock Hoffman over at the right guard. And it just seems like, even with Asim Richards when he was at left tackle, it just seems like things would gel a little bit more now that Cooper Rush is in and they've had a chance to actually, play a half a season or 3/4 of a season. And that's why I kind of feel good about the 2025 season with the offensive line, because the way they've gelled so much from the halfway mark until now, I see some good things happening for the 2025 season with the offensive line and the trenches.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Shout out to him. Yeah, I think the politics did stop, but yeah, I'm very confident about next year as well. But I look, we got to play devil's advocate here. Let's go on the other side. If we're bringing back a Mike McCarthy, he hasn't shown me he can build from one year to the next. This year is a prime example of that. The offense ended up on a high last year, ended on a high. And he came into this season and retracted back to those same ways from the first half of the season of last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, common sense would say, let's build on it. But he didn't build on it before, and so, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I'm happy for, but I'm gonna be honest with you, there's a lot of things I am definitely, iffy about. Like, if we bring McCarthy back, he can't be a play caller, in my opinion. He can't. He can't. I'm sorry. I don't care how many, 12-5 seasons you had. It's about what you did for me lately. It's
Right.
about, because I need to. It's your test is 17 weeks. Okay, if you didn't score A on your test in 34 weeks, I can't call you an A student. I can't, because
Right.
you've been failing recently, and you have not adjusted, you have not changed. That's actually one of my greatest criticisms with you. I've seen Zim been working. I've seen him try things, and he's been working with less. I've seen you, Mike, go out there and do the same exact thing, same exact way, same. It's almost, you've proven to me that you are so far. What's the word? Stubborn. You are so stubborn in your way, and you won't adjust, and you won't. If you can't adjust in this league, I don't want you as a play caller. I don't want you
Right.
designing nothing.
Right. And especially if you're not able to adjust overall with the times. You know what I'm saying? If your offense, like, I believe it was Fred Ward with the San Francisco 49ers, he said the offense was just so predictable that we knew what they were going to do when they lined up. Like, that's why they were one step ahead. And if I were Mike McCarthy, I would have heard that. And I don't know if this is a thing that coaches do around the league, but dang, look at some film. See what
Still,
works.
no,
Like,
they do that. That's why we even pissed at McCarthy.
yeah.
The NFL football in general is a copycat league. If
Mhm.
you see, I don't know, Shanahan is out there running outside zones, and if you got 3 good tight ends and a fullback too, you like, hey, we got some of the same personnel. Let's add that in. Let's install it this week. Yes, steal it. Yes, there is no plagiarism. They ain't gonna tell the teacher on you. No, that's Ben Johnson. Was it him? I remember that play that flown around. Like, they literally stole a play from across, like, from their team they were playing, and installed it on the sideline.
Did
That
shit? What was
happened this
that?
week. I forgot who it was. I think but, like,
Was
they
that?
installed it on the sideline.
See, and that's the thing, like, especially when you know who your opponents are going to be for that season. Whenever the schedule comes out for the new season, like, all right, we got these opponents. I would go back to see every one of their wins, every one of their losses, what affected them in the games during the losses, all this stuff, and just make notes, and then get with Dak Prescott, because Dak Prescott in the offense, because I believe that was the turning point last year when Dak and CD and them went to Mike like, yo, we got to change some stuff up. So include your offense, get this playbook right. And me, honestly, if I was a head coach and we made it to the playoffs, I'd have two separate play calling. Like one that they saw in the regular season and one that they ain't seen, but we still lining up in the same formation
Right.
during the playoffs.
Right. How I would do it, I would lay it out. I'm going to watch the film of the team, but what's more important, what I care about, is the coach. So if it's the Dolphins coach coming to the Eagles, I'm watching the Dolphins film because they're going to be running everything. The Eagles, they're going to be running everything that the Dolphins ran.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to change overnight.
Nope.
Watch his predecessors. Watch who he learned. They love to call us coaches from the couch, but these coaches from the couch have been preaching run the damn ball all season long, and it's funny how it's working now. How it's working now.
Yep.
We've been telling your ass to get out of that damn running Jerry curls and what Vox call it, soul glow. Stop running soul glow and actually get in some bunch formations and actually attack 3 levels of the field and actually put stress on the defense. Funny how you do it now and it's working. Yeah. I don't know. We just some guys with a camera phone and a microphone with the chat that played football before. Yet we ain't played on the pro level, but guess what? Grown men playing a kids game. That means anybody can know about the game, bro. X's and O's don't change. The X's and O's don't change. When you're at the pro level making millions of dollars and you're literally going against with some shit that's been working since 1910, which is running the damn ball in the red zone, and you want to pass the ball 3 times, I'm going to sit here and criticize it for you because you're obviously doing the wrong thing. I don't need to have all of these pedigrees to tell you that.
Yeah. And just because the NFL is becoming more fast paced and everything doesn't mean that you can't slow it down. That you can't have that elusive running back in the back to eat up the time of possession. Because, like you said, I'm a fond believer in the run game. Like, you need a great run game in order to make a long, a lasting impression in the playoffs.
Everybody who's going to be in the championship, I bet you all of them will run first teams.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And man, shoot. And I hate to admit it, but Philly,
they literally go, but if they can run up. Well, the only way they won't get there if Kellen Moore does Kellen Moore, and he does the Mike McCarthy thing right now, because that's when they look, not like a good team, when he refuses to run the ball and pass it, But I mean, Detroit is falling off a cliff, but I think they still might make it to the championship game. With the just the injuries is no longer there, going to take them over the top. But I'm telling you, there, like, we seeing Josh Allen make all of them good plays, but you guess what? I guarantee you, I know what's the name. Y'all know how they beat us last year. What was it, 38-0? Like, oh.
Man was just running it.
So,
man, everybody that was in the NFC or the AFC championship last year had a run game. That's why I was really like, when a few Cowboys fans were talking about, oh man, if we would have beat Green Bay, we had a sure shot at the NFC championship. I'm like, not without a run game.
Not without a running game.
Like we can masquerade and everything, but when you don't have that back in the backfield that can carry a majority of the snaps, you're not really going to go anywhere.
A run game will make an average quarterback look great.
Exactly. And I mean, like, you have Dak Prescott, who can cover some inefficiencies on the offense, but a great run game can cover his inefficiencies in the offense. You know what I'm
Dak
saying? So it just really complements each other. And why are we sitting on here couch quarterbacks when the damn owner can't even figure that out? Like, man, I don't get it.
I don't get it. That if they really if people really like cared, everyone loves to put all this on Dak. Dak best years is when we had a very unstoppable run game. If you don't if I don't know, I got his best years, which is I would say yes he was in an MVP race last year, but like he was just going crazy. He was just out throwing the system. But
Mhm.
at like them first years with Zeke, when like Dak wasn't even like the best player on the team. Like he was obviously following Zeke's lead, and he can direct and dissect off that. Like we were what the number one team in the NFC,
Yep,
in
number
the
one
NFC,
offense.
and we were going toe to toe with a good Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, yeah. And that's one thing that a lot of people tend to have amnesia on. It's like, yeah, you 2-5 in the playoffs, 2-5 in the playoffs. Like, okay, yeah, cool. But I give you the San Francisco 49ers game. Dak coulda and shoulda played better. But as far as like that Seattle Seahawks game, the
That
that we
Rams
won,
game.
then
If somebody
the
even think about mentioning that Rams game, they gave up
yeah,
300 yards rushing. 300 yards rushing.
like, and it took the miracle for the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers to hit that dot on the
Oh
sidelines to
my
get that
gosh.
field goal.
Oh, that's still irritating. That's
Yeah,
still give me nightmares to this day.
yeah.
Was it to that tight end? Oh my god. What a dot on a rope. On a
Mm-hmm.
run. On a run. Oh my god. But yeah, this is a great conversation, man. I appreciate it. We appreciate everybody in the chat. Listen, we just trying to give our best perspective for our Cowboys nation. As you know, like we can do all we can do. Yeah. Yes, it was CJ Anderson that went off. It wasn't even Todd Gurley. It was CJ Anderson for 300.
Mm,
300. And they
like,
said, Dak save us. Dak save us. I'll never forgive people for that. Yep. But hey, any last words?
nah, man. I do have some last words. Anybody that is rocking with the Angry Cowboys fan YouTube channel that doesn't know my brother Lou right here, please, Lou's takes. Subscribe to this man. This man has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to our Dallas Cowboys. Man, be breaking down film, be giving the big backs their proper due and respect when it comes to this line. Like, yo, he has some great takes. So make sure you go hit that subscribe button. Real talk.
And make sure y'all. Hey, I got Angry Cowboys fans. I think I gotta fix it. You know, I put the at your handle, but you know I gotta go and actually put the tag. But I'll fix it up. Make sure to go follow Angry Cowboys fans. Are you on the road? You close to 10K, right? Did I hear that right?
I'm close. I'm getting there. I think I
Close.
need like 800 and then I got 10K.
Any one subscriber, I'm telling you, see, just getting up every morning and just seeing one more to the number we saw yesterday is just enough inspiration for us to keep going and giving this great content. Angry Cowboys fan, he's the one fighting from the new media with the old media. I love it. I just love it when I see on the TL when somebody's saying something wild. I'm like, oh, we finna get another one. Another we finna get another raw and uncut. I gotta get my popcorn and I'm be ready. But
Like,
make sure if
bro.
you haven't, man, make sure to like and subscribe to content. A comment on the video after it's up. We love every one of you. It is Christmas time. I'm still pumping out this content, but the shows will die down because as you can hear, gotta put my baby and my family first. And as you know, we do this for the first blame and the last congratulated. You feel me? We do this for the big boys. We out.